Previously on Podcast Without Pretense.
You know, I can't wait to watch this next movie. I bet it's going to make me feel like a real dummy.
I keep explaining to you this is the amount of bass in my voice. I'm going to have to get a mixer and take care of that.
Okay, so after A Talking Cat, I watched A Talking Dog, ? And I think they learned their lessons from the first one. Seriously, guys.
You did not watch A Talking Dog.
I didn't watch A Talking Dog.
Okay.
There's a talking horse. There's no talking dog, is there?
I don't know.
Horse or pony. I couldn't remember if it was horse or pony.
There's a horse.
But, okay. Well, I did not watch that, and I am Jonathan Strickland.
I did not watch A Talking Pony or Horse. I'm Ayaz Akhtar.
I actually haven't watched any other talking animals this week, and I'm Eric Sandine.
And together, we form 3 living ghosts. Just watched a ghost movie, so it's on.
Is that
on
URL available?
3 living ghosts.
3 living ghosts.
I have Eric's on it. I don't know.
They don't really haunt people so much as they irritate them. It's like,
That's
I'm
right.
always here. Yeah,
I think it's just some guy who lives in your house and occasionally moves stuff like woo.
So yeah, I did it. No one's gonna believe that I moved it.
Like, no, dude, I see you moving my cup right now. Please just put the cup down.
Like, no, but I'm a living ghost. Clearly, you can't see that.
Yeah, no. The reason I brought that up is just before we went live, I was maybe a little bit than just before, but I watched The Woman in Black, which was a ghost film from 2012 starring Daniel Harry Potter Radcliffe and as the main character. And it was okay. It was way better than most of the movies we watch for this show.
I have not seen that movie. Today, oddly enough, I saw 2 people on the subway who each had koi fish tattoos, which looked similar to each other, although they didn't look like they were hanging out together. And I saw 3 people in total wearing pink dress shirts in the same car.
Are you thinking maybe that the 2 carp tattoo people are somehow their fates are intertwined, kind of like the bounty hunter and main character in Raising Arizona?
I haven't seen Raising Arizona, so I'm going to say yes.
Oh my God, you haven't seen Raising Arizona. Eric, have you seen Raising Arizona?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about with the tattoos,
I like
right?
fun. That's why.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about with the tattoos, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, Jonathan.
Now,
Just
all right,
say
so
yes.
Nick Cage's character and the evil bounty hunter Warthog from Hell character both have the same tattoo.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The significance of this is never explained. So, spoiler. I mean, that's one tiny spoiler, but you should absolutely watch Raising Arizona, Ayaz. You absolutely should watch it.
I usually do not avoid Nick Cage movies, so it's not like I have an issue with it. It's just I haven't gotten to it. It's probably on one of the many, many lists I have to watch stuff. But this week, we're not watching Raising Arizona. We're watching Pinocchio's Revenge.
Yeah,
an
and I want to point out,
pick by me.
Yeah,
So
Ayaz picked it out. You can tell that Ayaz really had his heart set on this movie by the email message he sent me this morning. Yes. What movie are we watching? And I'm like, Ayaz, it's Pinocchio's Revenge. You picked the goddamn movie.
But wait, if you keep the actual, that was the subject. The email itself said, I have no recollection at all. Did we even pick one? But I'm pretty sure I picked it. That's what I do remember picking something, but I couldn't remember what. And how long did you guys watch the movie before going to a second screen or distraction or alcohol or pithy comments?
I have a question for you guys because it's possible that my answer is 0. All right. And the reason why I say that is I set up my computer, my laptop computer, to be on a counter while I was doing some dishes. And so I started the movie but I was doing dishes. So technically a little bit of my attention was diverted to the task at hand. So if that counts as a distraction, 0. But if that does not count as a distraction, I got 1 hour 4 minutes into this before I just went to a second screen.
Okay, I don't count that as a distraction because I was making dinner during mine. Just threw something in the microwave, got up. I could still hear it. I'm still paying attention, not lost. I don't think it's a distraction. I finished the movie entirely. So I saw the whole dang thing in one sitting. I did pause it every now and then to check the time code because I was like, how the hell is this movie this long?
Yeah.
But that's the extent to which I had distractions, so I didn't bother. Eric, how far did you get before you went to another screen?
So let's see. I wasn't doing the dishes. I wasn't cleaning. I was actually doing nothing in the kitchen. So actually, I didn't even have a beer, but I made it about 35 minutes in. I think I just zoned out, and that's the only reason I made it that far.
Yeah, so let's talk about this movie. I did not take copious notes this time. So really what I wanted to notes. Oh, good. That's good. We'll defer to you in a moment, but just a synopsis of what little plot there was to this movie. First of all, the implication, I think, is pretty obvious. The implication is that there's going to be some sort of demonic puppet that ends up running rampant and causing lots of death and destruction. That's the implication. Wouldn't you two agree?
That's what it seems like. The image of Pinocchio is in the art, the movie poster. He looks sinister.
It's called Pinocchio's Revenge, you know?
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this movie. The puppet, the spoiler alert, although I don't think you can spoil this movie. Spoiler alert is that based upon what I can tell from the end of the movie, the puppet is not possessed, does not have any magical qualities to it whatsoever. It's just a puppet that happens to have been present at the scene of two separate series of grisly murders. But characters imagine that the puppet is in fact alive, but this can be explained away by other things that happen in the movie, which is weird because you think from the title of it that it's going to be a killer puppet movie, but it's really not a killer puppet movie. I think what they tried to do is make you question whether or not it was the puppet that was doing this or the people who were doing it, but it's not interesting enough for you to really care about what the answer is. It did take 40 minutes because I paused it to look at the time code. 40 minutes before anything remotely creepy with the puppet really happened. If you don't count the part where the main character reaches back into her back seat and accidentally tears her fingernail, which is implied the puppet did, but you don't see it happen, so there's no impact there.
We should talk about that creepy moment, but we should start from the beginning first.
All right, so the very beginning of the movie features a cop who is driving down the street, comes across an empty car, and meanwhile you see this guy who's digging in the middle of the woods. He's got a bundled up body, and so the cop ends up tracking the guy who's in the woods digging. Once he's figured out that the car itself is empty, he sees some bloody cloth in the car, so he tracks it down, pulls a gun on the guy, tells the guy to drop the shovel, which the guy does. And then calls in a forensics team, which starts to look around. They discover, I think, 3 bodies total, and the puppet. And so the puppet is seized as evidence, and the guy is charged as a the guy is charged with the murder of his son, and then it skips ahead 5 years, and now we're introduced to our protagonist, who is a single mom and a defense attorney. And her client is the guy who was in the woods, who is apparently notoriously uncooperative. And he says that he killed his son, and he was convicted of killing his son. But apparently the judge sentenced the guy based upon essentially the assumption that he had also killed the other 2 kids that were found buried in the same general area as his son. And since he wasn't tried for that, that's the lawyer's tactic to try and get his death sentence overturned, which does not work. Meanwhile, the single mom, her incredibly precocious daughter, is having emotional issues, largely due to the divorce of her parents, and is having trouble at school with bullies who she, will not hesitate to fight if she has to. And it's clear that there are severe issues with her emotionally, and that she needs to go to a therapist and all this other kind of stuff. The mom ends up taking possession of the puppet that was found at the scene. For
some reason other than that's how evidence works nowadays.
Yeah, that part really makes no sense. But then she ends up forgetting about her daughter's birthday after grounding her daughter for getting into a fight. Then realizes that because the maid tells her, hey, it's your daughter's, or nanny, I guess. The nanny tells her, it's your daughter's birthday on Friday. She's, oh, shit, that's right. She orders a doll that the daughter had always wanted. Her daughter is absolutely fixated on stuffed animals and dolls. And but it doesn't arrive in time. So she drives back and she's all stressed out. And her boyfriend, who's like the Mr. Super Awesome Nice Guy, like there's like no negative character traits to the boyfriend at all that I could tell. Anyway, he calms her down, says that he'll get the party started for the daughter. He'll throw this birthday party and give her, set everything up. And he ends up assuming, I guess, that the puppet in the back seat of the car, the lawyer's car, is in fact a present meant for the daughter. This would be the character Pinocchio, apparently. So the daughter loves it, because which little girl wouldn't love a creepy looking wooden puppet that stands about 3 feet tall? And she has a great time at her birthday party. And then shit starts to go down. Like at one point you have a gratuitous shower scene that serves no purpose at all in the movie other than for us to see Candace McKenzie get totally naked. And then Candace McKenzie's character, the nanny character, sees the Pinocchio puppet sitting on her bed. And so the implication is that the puppet has actually moved from the kid's bedroom into the nanny's bedroom. So finally, this is 40 minutes into the movie. This is the point where we have the first actual possible supernatural activity from the puppet. Then you have moments where the little girl is talking to the puppet. I think it's just over an hour when the puppet appears to speak to the girl. The boyfriend ends up going down into the basement one night in order to check on the girl, thinking the girl had run down there. And as he comes back up the stairs, the door slams in his face, knocking him down the stairs, where he hits his head, has a nasty head wound as a result, and is then rushed to the hospital when the daughter calls 911. The single mom girlfriend finds out about this, goes to the hospital to visit with her boyfriend, who's unconscious. And then it unfolds that the puppet, Pinocchio, is trying to convince the girl that if the boyfriend and her mom stay together, they will end up abandoning the girl, that the daughter will be left on her own, because that's what her daddy did. Her daddy left her, and this is what her mommy's going to do too if they don't get rid of the boyfriend. So anyway, this unfolds where you see a series of essentially assaults or murders on characters that appear to be blamed on the puppet, but you never see the puppet actually do anything. So it's left ambiguous as to whether the puppet did it or the little girl did it. And this is true all the way through the end of the movie until the mom actually sees the puppet running around, but it's only after she's been hit in the head and suffered a concussion. So you can explain that away too, even to the point where she at one point grabs the puppet in their epic struggle at the end of the film, throws the puppet through the air, the puppet crashes through a glass coffee table, and then the puppet is mysteriously replaced with her daughter, which I assume implies that it was in fact her daughter that she was struggling with the whole time, not the puppet, even though in her mind that's who she was fighting with. So the conclusion I drew at the end of the movie was that in fact the puppet had nothing to do with any of the killing. That was just a totem that people fixated upon. That, in fact, these were two incidents. The father who killed his son, and presumably the son was the one who killed the other boys, and the young daughter going on a frickin' murder spree, were completely unconnected to each other. And it just so happens that this puppet was at both scenes. That was the feeling I got by the end of it. Did that sum up the plot fairly?
That is definitely the entire plot of the movie. At least that's a summation. And I will tell you this: you have, if you're watching and listening to this now, you have no fucking reason to watch this movie at this point. Because Jonathan has broken it down to the point where you have no reason to watch this movie.
And if you even want to watch it after that, then you should maybe seek help.
I mean, a talking cat, after we talked about it, and even with my crazy Fight Club theory, like, that's way better than this pile of shit.
I could see a talking cat being an enjoyable movie to watch with a group of people where you're just having fun at the expense of the film. This movie is... I tweeted about it. I said, I can enjoy a bad horror movie. I can enjoy a dumb horror movie. What I can't enjoy is a dumb horror movie that thinks it's a really smart horror movie. And that's what this movie came across. Also, was it just me, or was this movie in like 4:3 aspect ratio?
It wasn't 4:3.
That's my first note.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
96.
Okay, well...
Also, according to IMDb, the top billed person on IMDb is Candace McKenzie, which is the actress who played the nanny, who's not in it that much, but she is the one who gets completely naked. So,
yep.
The mom also, by the way, there is some brief nudity with the mom. So
that scene precedes the shower scene. I mean, like pretty much consecutively in that. Yeah. The other thing is, Jonathan warned me about this, not to watch this at work. And I thank him for that, because I have a note here that says, "Oh, Jonathan was not bullshitting me, because this movie moves so slowly." I'm like, well, maybe he's just making it up, because nothing happens in like the first hour of the movie. It's an hour and a half.
Nothing happens. That's why I think I made it, 35 minutes in, because I just zoned out. Like,
I will say that it's shot competently. The shot composition seemed to be fine. The audio seemed to be fine. The boyfriend probably gave the worst performance out of everybody in the movie, but no one was egregiously bad. There were moments with the daughter where I was like, oh, this is a little too precocious, but the acting wasn't the real problem with this. The real problem was just that it was a terrible script. Terrible script.
Okay, should I get to my notes, or Eric, do you want to chime in before I start blathering on with my notes?
Oh, no, you're good. I don't have any notes on this one. So
I got my notes. Okay, Pinocchio's Revenge. 59 seconds in. I pause at this point. 4-3, I'm already regretting my pick. Gabe Bartolos is the special effects guy for Pinocchio. As I wrote a note here, I wonder where his career went from here. Because I'm expecting at this point some kind of awesome like Pinocchio effects. And by the way, in the movie, this is not a note. In the movie, Pinocchio basically sits wherever the hell he is placed. So he moves, I think, for a total of about, I would say, 10 to 20 seconds. And the only movement we ever see is about an hour later, and it's like a latex mask. Eventually, he works on Godzilla and Gremlins 2, it turns out. But anyway, hour and 3 minutes.
Hey, whoa. We do see Pinocchio move. He runs around a couple of times.
Yes, he also flies like this. Okay, so the movie starts 5 years ago. I got the same note that Strickland just said here. So far, not technically bad. Decent camera work, decent audio. Finally, now Vincent Gatto, serial killer. I think the lady lawyer, who looks an awful lot like Courtney Thorne Smith, is flirting with the lady judge. Guy lawyer, prosecutor. I think he's from PBS's Square One. I have to look this up later. Little girl, Zoe surprises mom. Put a bell on Zoe because Zoe's scared her. This looks like a Lifetime movie. Oh, this reminds me we should all watch the Saved by the Bell movie that's coming out on September 1st. Are you guys aware of that movie?
I was not, but all right.
There's a Lifetime unauthorized Saved by the Bell behind the scenes movie.
Oh, jeez.
It's coming out September 1st. I totally want to watch it for the show. I have no right to pick any movies. I just wanted to hear your opinion on that.
So wait,
anyway.
as our Are you so excited? You're so excited. You're so
so scared. Oh, I don't have any time. Gotta do my hair. Gotta study for. There's no time, Jonathan. No time. Okay. Holy shit! Pinocchio's in the chair. 12:54. I'm officially bored. Zoe with a huge burn on Beth. Beth is the bully who's picking on Zoe. Reading Dr. Doolittle in class. Zoe says, "That's perfect. Beth loves to do little." Like, well, that's pretty fucking clever. Cut to nameless defense lady lawyer. Because at this point, we're about 20 minutes in, and we still don't have her name. She's talking to Gatto. The real question now is, why did you bury him with Pinocchio? Because I can't figure this out. I'm like, okay, the boy's favorite toy, Gatto made the toy. So Gatto made this Pinocchio toy. The serial killer, the guy who killed his son, he buried Pinocchio with the boy because that was his favorite toy. All right. Nameless lady lawyer is convinced Gatto didn't kill his boy despite Gatto's insistence. Let me die, says Gatto. If Pinocchio killed the boy, then it's the dad's fault, like a dog. So at this point, I'm like, okay, Pinocchio killed the boy, and since the guy made the doll, he felt responsible. Because like if your dog kills somebody, it's your fault. So all right, because this isn't the lawyer in me talking there. Page 2 of notes. All right. Beth and Zoe throw down. Zoe draws blood. Did she chew Beth's ear? She did. Confirmation later. This reminds me of a story that happened in school. No faculty at St. Mary's Academy. No escorts when the children are out. That seemed a little strange to me. Zoe in therapy for nightmares. I'm now writing notes just to keep my own interest. I need a better pen.
That might be the best note ever.
The notes will be like, this paper really takes the ink.
These notes are just, they're not very clean. Awesome AT&T cordless phone. Warren equals Zoe's dad. What is mom's name? Nanny with unknown accent. Is she French? Walter equals the whale. I'm trying to figure out all these characters' names. 23 minutes and 2 seconds. Jennifer is her name, I think. Lots of press for the Gatto case. Now Gatto is bald. Time to die. I bet we get the truth now. Nope. I wonder who I would want in my execution. Can your last meal be a buffet? I swear to you, this is what I wrote down. I was not drunk during this movie. I was just thinking because there's so much downtime in this movie. What states don't do lethal injection because he is fried in an electric chair? Sparks are flying with electrocution. Is that normal? I don't know if that's normal. Church time. The dubbed priest talks to Jennifer. Jennifer wants to talk to the minister by asking him to coffee. 27:48. When is Pinocchio getting his revenge? How was he wronged? How was he wronged? Maybe he was wronged by being buried. Okay. Jennifer thinks that a woodworker cannot be a murderer because she says something like, I don't believe any man who made this toy would kill his son. Which I don't understand that theory, but she's got that. Oh, more retro phones. Garrick. She has a last name. It's Garrick. Nanny's accent is still undefined to me. Garrick has a Beamer. Maybe I should have been a lawyer. David equals creepy boyfriend of Jennifer. Holy shit, these kids are too close to the piñata. There's a piñata scene in the living room for this girl's birthday party, and basically everyone is circled around the blindfolded kid with the bat. As a father, I'm like, that's a bad fucking idea. All right. So far, Pinocchio's revenge equals sitting doing nothing. A talking cat had more action. Now, assuming Pinocchio was thoroughly cleaned, because, I mean, he was buried with a dead child, shouldn't the mom not let her daughter play with a doll buried with a dead child? I hope David is the first one. Oh, this is awesome. I hope David is the first one Pinocchio kills. Almost did it. Actually, he is the first one he kills.
He is the first one he kills, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Strickland wasn't kidding. Here's some nudity, and Zoe can hear the mom and David having sex. Extensive nudity with Sophia. Didn't see that coming.
Yep.
Sophia's hair dries remarkably quickly.
Yep.
I think Gatto got off easy by dying early in the movie. Zoe's got issues. She just equated her dad and a puppet she just got. She said, my dad leaves me, and you can't take away Pinocchio too. Confirmed by the shrink later. Mm-hmm. She eventually goes to sleep with the puppet. I wrote, I think cuddling with a wooden puppet would hurt. Pinocchio is an idiot by not killing Beth. Now, there appears to be a scene where the puppet is going to kill Beth by taking a rake handle, popping it through the tires of her bicycle, causing her to get run over by a bus. She does not die in the bus. Pinocchio is an idiot.
Beth, just as a reminder, is the bully that bothers the daughter Zoe at school.
Thank you.
This is and what happens is Beth throws Pinocchio over a fence, and Zoe has to go around the fence to get Pinocchio, and then supposedly Pinocchio tells her to stick around so that he can do something fun, which is this attempt on Beth's life. But you don't hear Pinocchio at this point. It's just Zoe reacting as if Pinocchio's talking.
That's absolutely true. Pinocchio is an idiot by not killing Beth. Beth will become a class hero. Stupid puppet. Zoe's going to have a fucked up life with psycho boyfriends. This is not a shitty movie. This is a boring movie. This public defender is insane, appears to violate ethical rules. 54-26. How is there more than 30 minutes left? Should have written monotony test, not insanity defense. And if she's got a client as a public defender, and the public defender the defendant apparently tied a person, took a person, put him on a meat hook, and burned him alive with a blowtorch. And the idea was that a box told him to do it. The TV told him to do it. And so she wrote down on a legal pad, insanity defense, very large for him to read with a big exclamation, or the question mark. And the client gets very upset. So I wrote down she should have written the monotony test, which is the insanity defense test that you do if you learn law, which is incredibly difficult to prove, which, by the way, makes her a really shitty attorney. She's just a shitty attorney. 56-36. Pinocchio finally talks without movement. Pinocchio's definition of a good thing is a little off. 2 accidents. We haven't seen the puppet do anything, so I'm catching on. All right. Let's see. That was page 4, and the rest of it finishes on these notes. There we go. On this, this is a receipt.
I like that your notes make you appear to be yet another crazy person. like I wrote some of this on the back of Liz's neck. Come over here, Liz.
I should have done that. 1 hour and 3 minutes. Finally, movement by Pinocchio. What hospital? Okay, this says. Okay, what hospital is David in? What hospital is David in? I want to know because it's far too easy to die there. Pinocchio or Beth just sneaks right in and just like kills him really easily. The alarms are blaring and nobody comes in. I have a note. Florida, because we do see a license plate. So it turns out wherever the hell this is Florida. Not that surprising. Jennifer thinks her daughter is not evil because she knows evil. I'm like, okay, that's not right at all because she's a public defender. She does not know what she's talking about. Terrible, terrible lawyer. She says something to the shrink about if you violate the doctor-patient privilege, you better have something good because I'm going to ruin your life. And the shrink is like, okay, well, the girl is dangerous and can kill people. I should be able to say something. Terrible, terrible lawyer. The privilege between patient-doctor can be breached in the case of danger. So, whoever was doing the legal research on this was not doing a good job. If my kid, okay, so then we had Beth in the room, Zoe with a knife in the mom's room. If my kid was brandishing a knife, I'd freak out because what Jennifer does, she goes, "Honey, why are you there?" And then she just takes the knife away. I'd be freaking the fuck out. Yeah. Okay, finishing off. Why the fuck is Sophie using a sharp knife for bananas? She's cutting bananas. I thought she'd be killed. Priest. Okay. I have a bunch of like arrows explaining this in shorthand. There's a discussion how Jennifer the lawyer thinks that evil could be upon us in the shape of puppets and dogs, mentioning the Son of Sam case.
Also televisions.
And a television. This box that talks that's evil. And the priest says something like he believes personally in demons, but evil not in the form of a dog. And I have a note here, burning bush equals God. Sure, but that's Old Testament, so maybe he just doesn't.
I do think it is pretty funny. Like, he draws the line at a dog. Like,
I don't think
it could. And the way he delivers the line, it feels like it's the end of a 1980s sitcom. I don't think it could be a dog.
My favorite with the actual church was when she walks in, sits down, and says, "No, I'm not Catholic anymore." And he goes, "That's okay. This is an Episcopalian church." Like, who you don't know what kind of church you just walked into? You just walk into one. I like.
They usually have big freaking signs that tell you.
Generally speaking, yeah.
All right, so then, so I have this note here. If my kid screamed, I'd run to his room, not waltz around like Sophia. Now, there's a time where Zoe screams from upstairs, and Sophia just kind of waltzes over. She's like, Zoe, and then she's beaten with the poker, which is awesome. Why does the puppet breathe while running? Because when the puppet starts attacking everybody, you can hear it running out of breath. Yep. And then I have my final two notes. WTF was this movie, and then Mini Me equals Pinocchio, because Vern Troyer was the double for Pinocchio when we saw him moving. And those are my notes from this movie, which I really fucking hated.
Like I said, I think based upon what I could tell, I think what the screenwriter and the director wanted us to think by the end of it was that, is this a question? Did the puppet actually have any influence? Was it in fact an evil entity, or was this all just two different cases of kids flipping out totally and going evil bazonkers killer crazy, with most of the evidence pointing toward it was supposed to be these folks going crazy. Maybe they were crazy and influenced by quote unquote evil with a capital E, but there's never anything there to really hang that theory onto.
I think you were totally right with the fact that they just don't make it interesting enough for you to care. Yeah. Like, it's... What I came away from it was, the same thing. It's like, well, I don't think the puppet did it. At least it seems like they weren't trying to imply that. Or if they were, they really weren't very good at it.
See, there needed to be a couple more revisions of this script if it were to actually be filmed and be a decent movie. And it needed a different title, because Pinocchio's Revenge is already giving you a specific expectation, which is not at all delivered upon. Now, granted, I don't know what other fucking name you would give this goddamn movie, apart from Help, My Precocious Child is a Murderer. But, yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like
Pinocchio's Revenge makes no sense.
Help, my precocious child is a murderer, question mark, exclamation mark.
Well, we also have
a talking precocious child murderer, question mark, well, I think we know what our next film project will be.
I mean, we also had the introduction, not a great introduction, but we do have this talking television that helped another killer who's not a child. He's just a random dude who's killing people because he apparently liked his victim.
Why is she the defense for all these capital crimes? Like, two in a row? Come on. And she's apparently not good at it.
There's a scene where they play back there's an audio recording made of the man being tortured, and all it is a bunch of screaming. So you got apparently this guy is on a meat hook again, like I said, and he's being tortured with a blowtorch. And all you hear is screaming and screaming and screaming. So this public defender, who apparently has been a public defender for about 3 weeks, goes to the bathroom and throws up because it's so disturbing.
Wait, and she switched. She gave up her job doing what?
She was in a private.
It's just private. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
So she's thrown up because such a disgusting concept. And by the way, this audio tape is played back on what appears to be a 1986 style a tape player. It's got that giant silver speaker that you remember, and a tape deck, and the audio apparently obviously awesomely clear. We can hear this death very well with no echo. It's a very echo-free room when you kill somebody.
I will say that tape sounded a little digital to me.
So you got all this screaming, and then eventually, part of your job as a lawyer is you're not supposed to do the other person's work for them. So you can make it a little difficult. Even if you're the public defender, you're like, you know what, this guy probably is guilty. This lady's response to the prosecutor. And by the way, the prosecutor's a complete dick. He's just kind of like, well, you're going to take this one to court after she threw up in the bathroom. And she's like, well, we didn't hear my client's voice on the tape, did we? It's like, lady, you fucking know it. The guy was laughing when you were playing back the tape in front of you. He was laughing at the screams.
To be fair, it was pretty funny.
Yes. Ah! Constantly. That's hilarious. It was so fucking hilarious that, like, and this guy even tells her that he explains, I killed. She's like the worst fucking lawyer. These are the kinds of people, like, I went to law school. If you guys didn't know, as you guys already do, the audience might be like, what did you do that for? But we're not all this fucking stupid. And just the breach of ethics by this woman. Forget the fact there's a fucking puppet that might be possessing children to kill other things. Assuming this is the actual case or a talking television. She's just a shitty attorney. And that drove me nuts. How could you be so fucking bad at your job? And she has a Beamer. She can't be that bad. She was. And that's part of the reason why I hated this movie.
Yeah, I blame you, Ayaz, for picking it.
I should not... Look, that poster... Okay, we got a picture of Pinocchio with, like, his eyebrows move. His eyebrows do not move in the movie. He's brandishing a knife, which I think he does do in the movie, which is great. But this movie, I kid you not, if we all started this movie at 1 hour in, it's not bad for 30 minutes.
No, it's like a Tales from the Crypt episode.
Yeah, it's a shitty episode. Yeah. It's 30 minutes. It's the fact that this is 90 minutes. In fact, if you start at the right time and you get the shower scene in there, it's pretty much a Tales from the Crypt episode. You've got the ironic twist being that the puppet wasn't actually involved in any of the fucking murders in the first place. You've got the gratuitous nudity. I mean, you know, it's pretty much like all you're missing is the Crypt Keeper making terrible puns about puppets, like no strings attached and all that kind of bullshit. Oh, yeah, Sophia, I think, is supposed to be Italian. I mean, the name sounded Italian. She mentions the Italian version of Pinocchio, the true story. And by the way, everybody in this movie is like a fucking expert in the tale of Pinocchio. I forgot half of this shit. Like, I watched Pinocchio when I was a kid, but I've forgotten, like, well, he did this stuff, and he was horrible, and he was like...
Well, like there was one point where the little girl was what did she say? She was getting bugs or something, and she's getting a cricket so that Pinocchio won't be bad anymore or something like that.
And that's why she screams in her room, because she opens up this shoebox and and what is the best special effect of the film? I hope is a special effect. I didn't watch the whole ending. If no animals were harmed, it's a squashed cricket.
Yep.
Like it is a fucking like custard style looking thing, just goop everywhere.
The implication being that Pinocchio has killed his conscience.
Yep. Which apparently he did in the Italian version too.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know.
So I have a suggestion for our next movie. It's a film that came out in 2011.
Was that just a long sigh?
Well, it's because he's still exorcising. Look, we had to live with a talking cat in our brains for weeks while you fucked around. So you're getting no sympathy from me.
I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just hoping that whatever we watch is better than this, because a talking cat, it was so much better than this.
I'm hoping it'll be magnificently terrible. My biggest fear is that it's just going to be horribly mediocre. Like just inept and mediocre. But I thought since horror has not been treating us so well, that I would switch to a different genre. So I went with science fiction. Although this kind of follows into horror as well a little bit. So this movie came out in 2011. It is only 1 hour and 31 minutes long. The average rating is 2.9 stars. The guess for me is 1 star. So... Ooh. There's a good chance that I will be punishing myself the most of all. The movie is 2012 Ice Age.
Nope.
Nope.
I've already seen it.
You've seen 2012 Ice Age?
It's one of those really shitty movies on Netflix, right?
Well, it says
I've seen this one.
An unsuspecting family. Yeah. Shit. So you've seen the Day After Tomorrow super ripoff?
Yeah, actually, I have. I've okay. So the ones underneath it, if you look at the suggestions, I've seen 40 Days and 40 Nights. I've seen Super Cyclone. I've seen Category 7, The End of the World. I've seen Category 8 or Cat 8.
Holy crap!
Matthew Modine. I've seen some.
All right. Well, I'll find another one.
I apologize.
Yeah, God damn it! Having to watch these fucking bad movies on your own makes it even harder.
Well, I actually get to make snarky comments during them. This is totally different. But oh man, I've seen this.
Oh god, the Left Behind movie is on Netflix. Well, that's going on my playlist anyway.
What about? Well, don't watch it. Why don't you wait, and then that way
I'll save it.
It's your turn to pick. You can choose that one. How about Absolute Zero? Ayaz, have you seen that one?
I will double check. I'm pretty sure I have.
God damn it! You watch all the climatology horror movies.
Absolute Zero. I might have seen. Let me just double check if I've seen this one.
A subgenre.
No, Erica Laniak. I did not know. I did not see a movie with Erica Laniak in it. My TV's right over. That's why I'm looking up.
Isn't she a former Playboy Playmate?
She's a former Baywatch and Playboy Playmate thing. But Super Cyclone
Under Siege? Is that who I'm thinking of?
I don't know. I do want to see The Void. I watched Metal Tornado.
Oh, we've seen her in something else. That's why I was.
All right, I'm adding Absolute Zero to my list right now.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen it, and effectively probably be exactly the same. Probably why I didn't watch it.
It still guesses 1 star, although the average is 3.2. So
wait, what was she in that we watched, Jonathan? Oh wait, she was in Bordello of Blood. Speaking of the Crypt Keeper,
she was in that movie, the Android one, right? She was
Android Insurrection or Android whatever that.
Either that or was it Android Insurrection?
Terminator 2 or the Terminators.
I've got her in Betrayal, Second to Die, Strike Force Opponent, Dracula 3000.
It was Dracula 3000.
Dracula 3000. Yep.
That's it. That was the one. Dracula 3000. Now that was the one we watched for this show. I was like, God damn it! I know it's one of those space movies.
I have my PWP profile. I gave Pinocchio's Revenge 5 stars, so it'll suggest terrible movies.
Now, did you
right now?
Have you already added Absolute Zero?
I have added Absolute Zero.
So does this mean I can work safely under the assumption that on Monday next week you won't be sending me an email saying what movie did we pick for this week?
Okay, I did. I won't need to do that in theory, but you never know.
Because it's on the queue. So
my queue is it's one movie.
So you should in theory know what it is.
If I need to send you an email, it's only because I'm fucking with you.
All right.
But apart from that,
here's the thing, though. I will not remember that you're fucking with me by the time you send the email, and I will respond, genuinely, like, it's Absolute Zero.
I wish I could show you my list on Netflix on my Apple TV right now. It's one video, so there's no way I'll forget.
Awesome.
So many things to watch.
It's interesting because usually when we do these episodes, we normally have enough time to talk about some other stuff besides whatever movie we watched. But this last couple of times, we've really taken up almost the entire episode to talk about the movie, which is fine by me because almost everything that there is to talk about besides this movie is way more fucking depressing than this movie was.
I need to keep adding movies to review on my PWP profile because I'm just afraid of. Oh, there's Leprechaun. All of the suggestions it's giving me, by the way, are all horror right now because I've only rated like 1 or 2 movies. So it's going to be awesome.
Do you need the full list of all the movies that we've watched so far so that you can
I think
go
Jonathan's
back and rate?
Got a sheet.
I do. I can share it.
How many have we watched? What's the total on that?
Well, I didn't. I remember I didn't write because we had the same conversation last week. I didn't write down all of them, so I know I'm missing at least.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We've got at least 30 movies on my list. So
well, we have a crazy fan base. They should be making this list and making it available to us. I'm sure they already have a wiki on this.
If not, any new fans who are just starting from this point and are planning on going back and listening to episodes, 1 through now, just keep a running tally.
I just think it's funny that you guys assume that there are people listening to this show.
I'm not. I'm completely talking out of my ass here. There's no way anybody's listening to this or watching this.
Okay. Well, I just sent you the link to the Google Docs spreadsheet I've created. Keep in mind, this is also where I write all my notes for the movie, so you're going to see some crazy, super huge cells filled with notes. Like Cheerleader Massacre 2, which has the first line saying this movie should be called Bitches and Boobs, the movie.
So I could see if anybody's listening, because I have a credit for Sticker Mule, and if anybody wants a PWP sticker, I will get a bunch of them printed of our cover, so our faces on a mountain. And I will send it to you. If you ping me on Twitter, Sandman Sandy, and you probably know who it is, I will get them printed and send one to you. I'll send you all of them, probably. Honestly,
I was about to say I don't know that I want one of those.
I'm gonna
got a credit. I'll use it,
and I'll bring it on to other shows.
The best notes I have right here. The most succinct I ever got with my notes was for Universal Remote, and the note is not funny at all.
I didn't finish that fucking piece of shit.
Neither did I. That was how bad that movie was. Although there was that
Black Knight Returns. Oh man, that one was so good.
Yeah. Oh, is that still available? I want to run that now. Black Knight Returns and. That's right. It had that slow-mo death sequence. Like the Black Knight's killed in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like, here's another.
That was also the one that had that series of establishing shots that I thought would never be surpassed until a talking cat.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, holy shit! A talking cat just totally schooled a Black Knight Returns.
I'm not.
Actually, no. I'm thinking of the wrong one. It's not the Black Knight Returns. It was the other one, right? The what was the one that was
Thunderstorm?
Yes.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I have that one listed on here. See, that's one of the ones that's missing on this list.
There's Black Knight Returns. I'm gonna run that right now. That's gonna put me to sleep.
Nearly did that the first time
That movie was so fucking horrible. But look. But that was also really technically bad as well. I remember the audio was shit.
Oh yeah,
the acting was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. Here is the default font for Final Cut of Lucidia Sands. Man, just a pile of shit compared to the well shot, well mic'd. What the fuck was this movie called again? Pinocchio's Revenge.
That's how memorable this movie is.
I have it written on this receipt here. See, there it is, Pinocchio's Revenge. And this is Florida. It's written on a receipt. That's why I had to move to a piece of paper. I'm like, I'm going to need to take lots of notes to pay attention to this pile of garbage.
If I hadn't been doing dishes, I think I would have had a second screen up much earlier, just because when I was watching it at the beginning, I was thinking, hey, this actually has the potential to not be total shit. And by the time we got 40 minutes in, and that's when we finally got the first indication of something going weird with the puppet, I was like, all right, I was wrong. This is boring shit. It fooled me for the first 5 minutes or so.
It's the boring nature that's unforgivable. It could have been more exciting. We could have had more deaths. We had Beth, the child, does not get killed. She immediately gets run over by a bus. David, when he gets thrown down the stairs and has a comical amount of blood leaving his head, the speed in which the blood leaves his head is just, it's like somebody just squeeze a sponge. It's just pretty damn funny. And he survives that, goes to the hospital. He's in stable condition, but they keep him in the ICU, which I thought was a little strange. And so he dies only because there's a second attempt at his life by merely pulling a plug, which doesn't seem like it would have been the only thing to kill him, because he was strapped down for some reason. Also confusing. And who else dies? The mom doesn't die. She is merely stabbed through the hand because she's holding her hand against a paper door. Because as I know in suburban houses, you have rice paper doors like in Japan. Obviously.
I mean, and again, remember that the reveal at the end of this movie essentially states that it's the little girl doing all the stabbing, not a mystical puppet. So somehow this girl is able to use what is apparently beyond razor sharp knives to cut straight through a wall and then straight through a hand, and not like between the bones. It goes across the hand, so it severs all the bones in her hand. Of the mom's hand. And it turns out it's this little, what was she, 8-year-old girl stabbing a knife through the door? That's pretty freaking strong for a little girl.
Well, what's hilarious is what's also hilarious in this movie is that when we see the point of view of either Pinocchio or this girl, or whatever the killer is at this point, because we go a lot of first person kind of viewpoint, there's a point where this creature or girl goes to the drawer to get the knife. Now, Pinocchio is too fucking small to get to the knife. Even with his arms up, he can't reach the knife. So I'm assuming mystical, like, floating ability or whatever. But they clearly show the girl is about the perfect height to reach the knife. There's also a scene where Sophia is being beaten with the poker, which is kind of hilarious.
And you can see the hand that holds the poker.
Exactly. You saw the hand too, right? It's like I thought I just kind of imagined it, but you saw a hand, but it looked like a female hand with pointed nails, and the beating is hilarious. It literally looks like that, like there's full motion up to the point of contact where it just like it stops dead in its tracks. It's just like, oh, I'm beating you to death. I am beating you to death. And they're just acting like it's. I know you don't want to hurt somebody in the filming of a movie, but get like a rubber poker. All right, just pay the money for the rubber poker. I'm sure, and I'm shocked by the way that this guy got to work on Godzilla and Gremlins 2.
Well, I also have to say, how the fuck did we start talking about this movie again? I thought we had moved on.
It came back because I forgot the name. That's what I was talking about something else. What the fuck did we just watch? Don't remember. And let's see. Candace McKenzie has only been in 2 movies. Pinocchio's Revenge as Sophia. And
she also
2 years later,
she also wrote a book about dating.
She was in Frank Finds Out as Janet.
She wrote a book called The Dating Darling. That's all I have.
That's all that's ever happened.
That's it. That's all there is to that.
Confessions of a Princess and How She Left Fairyland for the Real Dating World. I'm intrigued. I'm going to look this up. Let's see the full bio.
No, let's not. Let's conclude, shall we?
Next time on Podcast Without Pretense.
So, Jesus Christ, Ayaz, how many of these horrible movies have you already freaking watched?
A Talking Horse is my favorite fucking talking horse movie.
I don't know. I think this really tells us a lot about the environment where it's going.